Booth gets the first, and just one by one, they're peeking him. And it seems to be going all the way here of the CT side. Even Muturasu, the flank coming through won't be enough. And sAw, well, gives a little shot, but I would imagine there should be no way he's going to win this 1v2.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got the first. Second man as healthy as could be, and oh no, that's cruel. You can't just dunk him with a nade like that. Drop straight onto his position at the CT side. Oh, I wasn't a fan of the force buy, but they do make it work. Still, one man yet to die on their side, in fact. And AVEZ are going to break back at an important time as the T's, well, they will force, but a little bit uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. sAw just keeping over his form from the last game. And some really important shots, and so is Marcos. sAw does have the op yet again, but doesn't have the opportunity to go for the challenge off the bat. And I like how Marcos gets the kill and just backs away immediately. Keep that man advantage. Keep the pressure on from that. sAw have to play with the man down, which is already tough enough to do in general. But I even might be a second as the peak comes through, and well, Just is down to 7 HP.
That's looking good for the Poles. Yeah, a couple of rounds seemingly slipping away. It's the late executions that have caught them, though, and still plenty of time. But this boost up, ooh, okay. It looked like it was going to be another kill. Tyler almost caught as well, as he looks to run away, but instead, why not? Just dink up, finish off another man with an MP9, making some extra money, and the T side now in a fair bit of trouble. 45 seconds as they try and make their way towards the B site. Two players ready and waiting. Obviously not really much of a need for AVEZ to take any aggressive plays or any risks, as they already have such an advantage in this round, and he is going to be waiting for this push to come in. Even a little bit of extra utility, but he goes down. Somehow they found 2 kills back. Nora a little bit hesitant to take the second kill, but he'll get it nonetheless. And we've ended in the same situation again. A 1v2, more HP for sAw this time. Can he make this one stick?
No, it's just about waiting for the flank to come through fully. Bialy, I mean, he's been in a situation a million times. sAw, though, actually pushed out towards short. I don't know if they're going to expect him to be here. You can see Bialy's looking in towards side. He's not fully sure. Kylar is not looking in that direction either. Bialy will turn around. He will spot him out, and well, they will get the kill and ideally be able to rescue over the op too. So AVEZ will clutch it out, but again, it came down too close. I mean, that was with the man advantage off the bat out of Marcos in mid, getting the first kill.
Yeah, a 5v3 turned into a 1v2, but ultimately they do manage to close it out. And okay, I've mentioned MAC-10s a few times and talked about MAC-10 rushes that can be quite effective. Someone was listening, Jason, as we've got the Poles looking to barrel in towards this B site. They've got the smokes up for the cross, as they're just going to run in using all their utility. Counter smoke even for the incendiary. The question is, will they be able to break through this defense? And the answer is no. They have been absolutely slaughtered by the B site defenders, and the Polish side are going to take a free round like that all day long.
More importantly, we also realized that you'd make a terrible coach.
That's exactly what I said, so, you know.
Never listen to a silver player on a strat. So I don't think you're silver.
They should listen to you sometimes.
Bro, we were both global, all right? I was global when it mattered, when everyone was global. It was like free candy being given away. Double op, though, on the CT side. But leaving Nara basically to his own devices. You do have Key playing towards short. And you got Marcos in towards connector. So not a bad hold here. And oh, well, okay. Just of course I speak about it. He peeks out. No one's watching his underpass. The timing completely not working out. And well, now AVEZ have to play a man down. And this is going to be so difficult to do. The B site and mid left very vulnerable. And it looks like the CTs are going to push ramp because of this. And Bialy's going to be dropped. Arky with a great kill onto him. They're just going to charge straight through onto this. This is going to be tough. I don't know how AVEZ can really defend against this because they don't really have too many players here. It comes down to, I guess, the ramp, but Rome's going to drop him.
He has been their best player so far, but even he can't do anything versus the AWP. A third round on the board for sAw, and it's the T side that impressed us on Nuke. Need to see a bit of a rise out of them. It's been a bit of a quieter performance from some of the members on this squad. However, only really sAw and I guess just in the previous round able to put up the numbers they desire. On the other side, Key, well, he's finally died, but he's still 11-2. And the only real issue they've had is that a lot of the aggression they have into middle seems to hand over an early kill. And then from then on, it's more of a domino effect. When they have been passive, when they have been using these AWPs, been relatively successful.
Well, it almost happened again because Key actually pushed middle with the AWP. And he almost got completely caught out. Speaking of caught out, Kylar just takes down Rome. Again, the MP9. I'd be a little bit tilted for sAw. If I was playing on their team, the amount of times they've died to this SMG, and now Marcos. Yeah, you're not going to miss those shots. Spots out, I think, the other players as well. Looks like AVEZ is going to get a relatively clean 7th round on the board. Or ideally, they should be able to. But with sAw alive, you know, anything's possible for sAw.
Been able to bring back rounds like this back in the past, but yeah, much of a believer. AVEZ have been relatively dominant in this match so far, and it's looking like it's going to be the continuation as Marcos, well, he's given plenty of attempts. Misses a few, but a glass cannon AWP and 3 kills. There can't really be any complaints from his side of things. And the T's, once again, they just financially have been owned quite a few times now. They did manage a 2-round streak earlier in the game, but even still, that came back with a few clutch rounds from AVEZ, and now they're left with just some pistols. Not really anything particularly good, just an attempt to do some damage once again. CT side looking to try and make some money and maybe pad those stats a little bit. We've seen so many people AWPing, Jason. It seems to be switching hands almost every single round.
And we've seen so many different people pick mid. Last round it was Key, before it was Marcos. This time it's going to be Narot. They just want to give, you know, equal opportunities for everyone on their team to get kills in mid. Oof. Nice shot of Arky. Well, short-lived, but still a nice shot nonetheless. And just to reiterate, like sAw, they need this match to even have a chance to qualify through. And then they have to hope AVEZ beats Secret in the final match of the day. They're fighting for their tournament lives here at the moment, and we're going to need to see a little bit more. Oh my god! Oh, if he just saw that from his side, he would be so tilted.
Gonna try and pressure B. Nora waiting for the push. AWP in hand, so there's definitely some potential here, but well, the second the bomb is attempted to be planted, everything slips away. A half victory already for AVEZ, and my prediction's not looking too good, Jason.
I do wonder how we got to Mirage. As you were saying before, like at least with an HLTV, not a map played in the last 3 months in officials. They're definitely struggling, and the thing is, like, I think we see them try to take mid control. I feel like they've been relatively unsuccessful. It has cost them like quite a few players in multiple rounds. I think even Key's looking for another peek in towards us again. He's gonna have to give this one up. Marcos as well. We know B hasn't worked out too well. It's been, I guess, the A site where they've had most of their success, or a good portion of their success, I should say. But they got 4 players here. There's like no one watching the bomb, no one watching any sort of flank from B. We've seen AVEZ get aggressive towards A ramp, so it's very likely that they could get aggressive towards B. But as we can see, with not having the op, no need to do that. Just kind of maintain your angle and hope that your teammate Key doesn't die here on short.
Oh, he almost does, at least with the initial frag, but jump just about gets away and can be traded eventually, but at least took one with him. He's looking like they're going to try and operate based off this single kill as the bomb does go rotating. Seems like there's a peek coming out from Arky as well to try and put some pressure onto this A side, but reality, Going to be quite reliant on Nora to try and hold the line with this AWP. Rotation will be back in soon enough, and Arky can at least try and cut off rotations. This might make things interesting. In fact, without spotting anything, the full squad are just going to rotate in. They think that this is the play. The bait from Arky this time is perfect. A man who's been relatively quiet so far, but he has caught the CTs completely off guard. The bomb's going to go down on the other side of the map with seconds to spare, I might add. I think the CT side are going to be a little bit confused, but with that kill, the retake potential goes up a little bit.
Yeah, but double ops. I feel like this is too expensive for what they have left, money-wise, to go for it. Seems like they might try, though. Gutierrez always gonna shut down the first person. Prowler's gonna respawn, so now it's down to the 2-on-2 as they're both trying to come in from the short position. But yeah, just save. Time's a little bit too thin. Go back to the double op if you can, yeah, pick it up. And yeah, that will be sAw taking the 4th round. Nice little fake. Again, Arky, like this guy has just been a constant nuisance in quite a few games. I mean, he wasn't really top fragging when it came to nuke, but he was always in a really good place to catch rotations. This time, you know, selling the fake over towards A. But even though it is 8-4, you know, we see AVEZ struggling to get the full buy.
Yeah, this could be a big round to take. In fact, just as kicked off as well as you can. 2 kills on the aggressive players into the underpass. A win in this round, Jason, could give them a path back into the match. Because normally you talk about this team being a little bit more T-sided, but the way that most teams play the CT side, you'd almost think that they might have a better time on this map than any other. Obviously, the question does arise of how much they're actually ready for this map. I don't think they would have allowed it through if they weren't, but well, with how the initial rounds have gone, you do call into question things a little bit with how well they managed to play against this team last week. Even still, though, the CT side still got good opportunity here. Kyler has been playing very, very well. 13 and 6, 10 and 5 for Nora as well, and he's still got that trusty AWP. The T's once again are going to throw just alone into the B side to try and sell this as a bit of a fake. And again, it seems to be working. They've rotated Bialy off into a different position, mainly because of the aggression into the Palace. Now, it gives them some space at least. And in reality, if Kyler can have as big a round as he needs to, maybe there's a chance.
With 18 seconds left, if they take too long to plant the bomb, all he has to do is kill the planter. There's the first coming through. Bomb's being planted, he peeks out. He does drop the bomb. 9 seconds left. Now, Bialy pushes through, and if he gets the planter, they could be at 5 seconds. They barely just get it off in time. Now 2-on-3, and both CT players, well, going to be coming from CT spawn. You do have just on the flank, potentially when they push in. Not trying to lead the charge with an AWP. Spots at the first, and can't quite hit the shot, and his teammate will fall, but now he's alone. sAw again, another round on the board, and the money is gone for AVEZ. Potential to take a 6th round here, and potentially 7th, looking good here for the T side.
Bit too close for comfort, but even still, T side have done exactly what was needed of them, and with their money still not in the best of places, it would be nice if they could keep this one relatively clean. Of course, the CTs can't really afford to invest much at all. They've got 2,400 loss bonus, so even in the current situation, sure, you'll have Nora with the ability to buy an AWP, saving his cash. It seemed like Marcos may be moving away from it after having some issues in mid, but teammate clearly enjoying it on the B site. They've ultimately stacked A for the initial stages of the round, but it is a very slow round coming out from sAw. Sat at the top of mid, waiting for anybody to get aggressive to peek into their angles, and for now at least, not much being found. CT side gonna split into a 3-2 setup. I'm not the biggest fan. It might be because the aggression that they found and the information that they've spotted, but think you have to be all in at this point.
It looks like they're going to push out ramp. Only one player going to be spotted there. But that's going to be an AK picked up. Kylar's going to secure that. The bomb going to rotate back towards the A side as well. I think for me it comes down to Arky, but his position is going to be given away with the incendiary now thrown in. He doesn't spot anyone out at the moment, but Viali might have a surprise for him. Risky position for him to be in. Kylar, though, has to hit some amazing shots here to give them a chance on the CT side for this round. Takes on the guy. Powers can be rushed down. Bialy's going to cover off his side, and Bialy, it takes a little bit of time to get the kill, but he gets it nonetheless. And now it's just alone against 3. He gets the first, gets this. No! Key on stairs. I thought he was certainly had the shot onto him. And AVEZ, with just the pistols, are going to take the round.
That's a round that you just can't allow to slip away. As I mentioned in the last, they don't actually have much reserve money. So even just keeping 3 players alive there would have been fine, but losing the round, well, that could be something that comes back to haunt them a little bit later in this match. A 9-5 scoreline, you go into this final round with one of the weaker purchases we've seen. Gonna try and brute force this one. Their attempt at this sort of round previously failed miserably, and it's not going well. Already, Bialy is shutting down the site. A little bit of a vintage Counter-Strike from the pole, and well, a 10-5 half for AVEZ. I think they're going to be fairly happy with that.
I'm not sure if it looked the same way on your side as it did mine, but when Bialy killed Stododo, he did like a backflip onto the box. I don't know, maybe it was just my ragdoll physics, but that was just hilarious to see. Just the body, the ragdoll flinging backwards, feet overhead. But still, 10-5 now. AVEZ moving on to the T side. Just already another time, and I'll probably do it a couple more before we finish off this map. sAw is just fighting to keep a hope alive into playoffs. AVEZ, if they win here, it comes down to that final match versus them on Secret. And the winner of that game will be the second team qualified through out of the group to make it into the playoffs. They'll be up against, if I'm not mistaken, Endpoint in their first match. The life of the UKCS scene. I've been fairly impressed with them in Group A, but I feel like when they move into teams like potentially Heretics, that'd obviously be at the grand finals if they made it that far. Some of the other teams we have, be a lot more tougher challenges, and it looks like the T side going to rush straight in towards A. Well, Justin's going to cut off the rotation through Connector. Key's able to get 2 first kills, and now it's going to be a 3-on-2, potentially 3-on-1 if Key can win this battle into Shadow, what he does. And Justin's left alone, but Marcos is able to just finish him off, and that'll be it. Key with 3 kills, Marcos with 2, and AVEZ take the pistol and get themselves up to 11.
Well, PT side almost needing to win this 4 spy at this point. It is looking pretty bleak for the Portuguese side, and Arky's plan is to try and get aggressive here. He's going to walk into an awful lot of players. The flashbang even leaving him blind, and very simplistic start. The scouts so far have achieved nothing, and I think that might continue as it's left with Rome on just 6 HP, Stododo on just 10. This is almost like a farming simulator at the moment for AVEZ, as they're just making more and more cash by the second.
Hey, Farming Simulator Pro League. Don't hate on it. Rome is 6 health, Justin just the deagle. And yeah, 4-on-1. Pretty clean round here for AVEZ at the moment. But Justin get a couple of kills, you know, wouldn't be too bad. Look at the first. Not a chance for the second, and AVEZ is just steamrolling sAw at the moment, 12-5. And if you're sAw here, I mean, I imagine you're just going for the full save. Maybe just push mid, maybe push ramp together, look to get a gun. But it's starting to get into tough times for them. Can't really afford to lose too many more rounds.
Okay. Rome's at least going to hit a double tag through, but looks like the rest of the T's are setting up, going towards this A site. Plan hold for middle is just to keep the rotations, and they've sent one of the MAC-10s in to be on its own, just to try and almost pull the rotations in. It seems to have done the trick, as the majority will sit on this side. However, there's still going to be a kill for Just, and Mac-10 picked up. Well, if there's going to be any way back into this, at least making some finances off that gun would be nice. Yali actually going to fall as well, but I don't think it will matter too much. Key, who's been utterly fantastic so far in this game, is already just going to be tapping them down, padding those stats even further. And a 13th round for AVEZ. They're looking pretty good on Mirage.
Yeah. Maybe Secret's going to try to stay away from that map unless they're fancier their chances. And it comes down to this for me. sAw with the buy up. The Dodo. I mean, he has some great shots. He's on 10 kills, but they're currently leading the way with 12 on Just. They need to shut down this push or they're going to start to really suffer here. And unfortunately, have to suffer watching the playoffs and not being able to play in them. Looks like we're just pretty much a standard execute towards the A site, however. No smokes, just flashes. Not going to expect the player in towards Shadow as Dodo's able to hit the first shot. And, well, not sure what AVEZ is doing here necessarily, but winning the ground is not one of those things.
Even just keeping this clean would be great for sAw. Money for them is still going to be an issue in future rounds, and we'll have heard the footsteps up. A peek out from Arky. Going to get his second, and although he's traded, that's a very good round from sAw. Exactly what they needed if they were going to make any sort of comeback, of course, for the T side here. The amount of money they've made will mean that there's a buy, but there's still going to be a piece or two missing along the way.
I'm really confused, Tom, why they, like, just flashed in towards A and walked in. They didn't smoke anything off. There's nothing for jungle, nothing for stairs or CT. And then they just got picked apart because of it.
I guess they were just feeling so confident in taking those individual fights that they just literally wanted to face into the remaining players. And it's kind of hard to blame them at this point with how good they're being. Like, Marcos has just walked into B on his own with an AWP and no armor, and he took 10 damage from the Molotov at the beginning. That is ridiculous. Like, how he's managed to do that, I'm shocked, if anything. Like, that should have not only been a kill for the CT side, but it probably should have been a man advantage. Instead, he's just absolutely owned them. And, well, it's a save. It has to be a save. They can't really do anything else.
Oh, it's for sure he's going to be dead, too, pushing. Because that Molotov, like, basically landed on his feet. And he decided to go forward instead of backwards. The Ollie. Just sees the barrel of the gun. That's an op not taken out of their hands. A much needed weapon. Materis, he needs to save this, and he won't be able to either. And Biala just goes picking for scraps. Gets himself the last 2 kills, and Ava's now on 14. And we'll sAw. I guess they're going to force up here to prevent the overtime. That's going to be a hell of a climb back for them to.
Yeah, I can't say I'm much of a believer at this point. They've definitely performed well throughout the day, but I think maybe this attempted pocket pick or just letting a map through that they don't play too much has definitely backfired. And also giving the Polish team that are currently playing with a stand-in a map which definitely allows for individual brilliance to drag you through. I think that might be an even bigger mistake. Key is just wrecking them, though. 27 kills and 8 deaths. Been having a field day. Opened up onto 2 already in this round. Sure, he falls and there will be a rifle picked up, but the aggression that's coming out from the Portuguese side at this point just seems disjointed. One player aggressing, the other player sitting passive. All the T's have really had to do is just wait for people to peek into their crosshair, and they will win that round very easily indeed. 15 and 6. One more needed for this to be done and dusted, and the more exciting thing is it will mean that we get our catalyst match. Everything will build up to one point. There was a possibility of the final match of the day being sort of null and void for one of the teams, but instead, the victor of the next match, if this gets closed out by AVEZ, will be going through.
Man, I find it hard to say that sAw are going to throw it into overtime and then win in overtime, especially now with 2 kills already coming through in middle. They try to make some play happen, and I respect that, but it has gone the way here of AVEZ. Another kill comes through, down to the last 2 remaining members. It's going to be Rome and Just. Got a Deagle and a Scout. Not really going to be much of a believer here as Rome's going to push the smoke and gets caught looking the wrong way, Tom.
Well, just doesn't really stand a chance here. He does manage to get one, can pad his stats a little bit, but ultimately this has not been the performance they were hoping for, and the polls have come in and absolutely dominated them. A fantastic performance. It's the 2Ks at the top of the board of Key and Kylero, who have just absolutely killed it, both with 20+ kills, but there wasn't really a bad performer overall for the side of AVEZ, and I don't know what happened to the Portuguese side. I think maybe it was a bit of an oversight going for Mirage. Maybe we can ask whoever we've got in the interview, which will be Marcos. Maybe he can give us a bit of insight there, because like I said, looking at the statistics, Mirage probably shouldn't have been on the cards, but somehow it got through and AVEZ have just destroyed them.
Yeah, honestly, well deserved. We do have Marcos joining us now. First of all, congratulations on the victory. And now, how does it feel going to this last game of the day to determine if you make it to playoffs?
Hello guys, thank you very much. What was the question? Because I was not focused, sorry.
how does it feel now going into the final game against Secret, and the winner of this match will make it to playoffs?
It's a good feeling. We are confident. I think we can beat them. We just need to be focused, good communication, I think, and we can go to playoffs.
So looking at the veto, like looking at statistics on like HLTV, it seems like neither of you particularly play Mirage. Like it's a map that doesn't really come up too often. Were you surprised when you ended up on Mirage?
To be honest, yes. We were not expecting that, but at the end we had an option to play Vertigo or Mirage, and we are not also good on. I mean, we are not prepared on the new Vertigo after the changes, so we decided, guys, we are good on. Our aim is good. We can easily win against sAw on Mirage, and we decided let's have some fun and play Mirage.
Well, I think Tom
out.
and I appreciate you guys not choosing Vertigo as well. But obviously, you guys have Bialy on the roster now. Is he just a stand-in at the moment? Or is there potential for you actually to sign him as a player?
We are only thinking about him as a stand-in, because we are still waiting for Mosi to come back from hospital. He's coming back soon. So yeah, he's just standing in right now. We're having a good time with him.
Well, all the best to him, of course. I'm quite interested because obviously your team is another one within the Polish scene. I think there's a lot of sort of young talent, but your squad is literally like between 21 and 19 years old. Like, what is the goal for this tournament? Like, obviously making it to the playoff stage would be fantastic in the next step, but where would you like to finish? Like, what's the minimum?
It's hard to say because we are still playing with the standing, of course. I hope that Mosi will be back for the playoffs if he get there, of course. And I hope with Mosi we can get to the semi-finals at least, but I'm hoping for the final. If we lose in final, I'll be still happy because there are many good teams in that tournament. So yeah, I'm saying playoffs is our goal at least.
Okay, I mean, that's a pretty good goal. And, how do you guys fancy your chances now up against Secret? The last time you guys met, if I can quickly look at my notes, it was, oh my God, where is it? You guys won 16-8. Do you feel like you could do that yet again?
Yeah, we are hoping we can still, do the same because we just won the game against sAw. We are confident. We won against Secret last time, so I'm not sure if they want to play Overpass against us again. So I think we have good map pool, good chances, and let's go. Let's do this.
All right, Tom, any more questions then?
No, I'm good and ready to go. I'm ready for that final match.
All right, well, Dziękuję, Marcos. We'll see you hopefully later on today if you do take the victory, and obviously congratulations once again on the last match.
Yeah, I hope to see you too again. See you later, guys.
See you later, man.
See you later.
Yeah. All right, so you're here, and there's confidence on their side. They feel they can do it. A nice little warm-up game as well to get any rust off of them, since they did have a break from their matches before. And I think this is leading us up to a perfect finish to the group stage, to be fair, Tom.
Honestly, I just love the reasoning there. It's like, we can beat them in aim, so we just went to Mirage. It was somewhat what I was mentioning, but I was like, oh, maybe there's something deeper there. But no, it genuinely was just the case that it came down to a map where they could have gone to Vertigo, which, again, if you look at statistics, it's one they're favored on. But as he said, it's a map that has recently made changes, so it's understandable to go somewhere else. But I honestly think that sAw might have played the game a little bit there, because I think that's one of the positions where they are a bit weaker is their map pool. Like, we've seen some decent play from them on Inferno, even though it hasn't like net victories. Even on Nuke, it was relatively close, but clearly they didn't want to play AVEZ on Nuke. It's one of their best maps. You look at Overpass, you don't want to go near that either. And after AVEZ ban Dust 2, it didn't really leave much space within the map pool for sAw.
Well, you know what? It's all coming down to this now as we move past the last match and set our eyes towards the next one. It's Secret up against AVEZ, and the winner will determine who's the second team and the final team to come through into the playoffs. But that will be after a short break. This is Blast Rising, brought to you by Fantasy Expo, and don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to Blast Rising, brought to you by Fantasy Expo as we move into, well, the final match of the entire group stage. It's Group D, it's Match 6, and it's up with Team Secret up against AVEZ. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined with the lovely Tom Biz as we'll be covering the last match for you. And then heading off to enjoy a nice weekend before we get underway with the playoffs kicking off on Monday. So, Tom, Secret, AVEZ. AVEZ won last time these two teams met. However, it seems like there's a little bit of a different team the AVEZ side in terms of how they're playing. And Secret, well, the map we're getting, they've already played it twice today.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be warmed up on it, that's for sure. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting one because at least statistically in the past, this has been one of the best maps for AVEZ. It's one that they play most regularly, or at least one of them alongside Overpass. They have a 60% win rate on it. So we should expect a fair bit. And they actually obviously played Secret on it not too long ago. That was during a Home Sweet Home Cup, 116-6. So yeah, they should be favored, if anything, going into this matchup. The only thing I would say is there's been a roster change and I think a fair bit of development from Secret over the last few months. So I'm expecting more from them here. Obviously, they're the ones looking, I think, most favorable to go into the playoff stage, especially with a stand-in currently for, well, I suppose technically for both sides. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a close match. I definitely think that we could be getting another overtime on our hands. But if the polls come in firing nearly half as well as they did in the last match, then who knows? Maybe they can take it quick.
Well, I think one big side that I am seeing right now on my screen is that, well, Secret are sitting on the T side, and that seems to be where they, pretty much accumulate all their rounds when it comes to Nuke from what we saw today. And AVEZ is going to be starting things off on the CT side. And now, I mean, Percy, he said he wanted to come back. Marcos as well said he wanted to come back for an interview. Only one of them can do it, and we'll find out who it's going to be at the end of this match.
Already firmly into our pistol round. Key was the key performer of the last one. Already, it's going to be Bialy able to take one with him, but the bomb is going to be going down already. As you said, Secret were definitely feeling more comfortable on the T side. According to Percy, it's where they have the majority of their calm. It's a little bit more hectic on the CT side, and while it's looking fairly hectic now, a very aggressive push in. Rallen and Percy both finding a kill, and well, Percy even going to add another to the death toll. It's left all on to Kyler. He has done very well in the previous match. This bomb is already ticking fairly far gone. He's got a lot still left to do. And, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything against Anarquez. It's Team Secret to take themselves the pistol. Now we get to see if they can convert in their T-side rounds.
I'm interested to really see how Secret do yet again. If it really is that T-sided magic that seems to work for them. We obviously got to talk to Percy, and he did mention like there was a big timeout in their game versus Heretics, and he tried to make a call for what they could do, but they had 1 second left on the timeout, or 1 second left before they could even call the timeout. It's a little bit too late. Kyler able to take down Percy right off the bat as he tries to sneak in towards vents, and not a bad start here for the CT side. But it seems like Percy realizes, figures some things out, and I think they actually got a little bit lucky. Well, not lucky necessarily, but losing the knife round and getting to start on the T side, because that's where the powerhouse begins. And I feel like they have a strong start here T side, and I feel like it should be relatively easy CT, but that's going to be, again, a trade going AVEZ's way. Bialy will fall, but it's just down to Anarquez and Rallen. It's the last two players left alive for Secret.
Ready? I'm going to turn it back, but this should be Rallen dead almost indefinitely as Kylo's there with the SMG, and now it's left all onto Anarquez, and it seems like Kylo is more than prepared. Again, he's off to a flying start. It was him and Key who were performing so well in the previous map. Now, once again, they've kicked it off with a 4-1 kill tally for him, an AK retrieved, and the T side now looking to try and force in themselves.
Are they actually going to do that? I mean, I feel like if AVEZ was watching the match Secret had against sAw, then oh, no one saw that Narat. Then we're gonna see a lot of control out of AVEZ when it comes to vent. Seems to be a section Secret like to go into, and when they come around the side in towards mini, but Key's gonna be waiting, gonna continue his. All right, well, never mind. I'm not even gonna continue to talk because Percy just says, "Hey, is that a wall? I can't tell. I just see a person through it." Takes out that fight. Again, not able to rescue the weapon, unfortunately, but at least keeps it even at 4 apiece. And even with all this outside control they've had, they've not really done anything with it, to be fair. There's still a player watching on any rotations towards heaven. But they will finally make their way down Secret.
Eking their way through. Bialy has already made a rotation to put himself in position. CT side yet to really gamble anybody else in that direction just yet. Possibility at least for a bomb plant, but you do feel like you can rely on Bialy to at least slow them down. It would need to be a tasty shot out from the T side if they were going to get anything here. Arlen just patiently waiting for his team to get in place, but the timing couldn't be worse. Nora has spotted that one remaining player, and I think they should now have a decent idea that this is going to be a play into the B side. Bialy especially now spotting out these players. He is only going to get one, but he's done a lot of damage, and he's bought time for this rotation to come in. An easy kill on the planter, and they will close this out relatively easy fashion.
Yeah, they didn't even really lose too much. I know Bialy had an MP9 at the bottom of the site, so, you know, would be he loses that gun, he can obviously buy back up if he wants to for that, or just go straight for the M4. Navas, I mean, putting on a good defense here, 2 rounds. And obviously, you know, hearing Percy talk about having Ron on the team, it's been hard to kind of play with him on the CT side because he's been swapped around with Synapse, I believe. They kind of switch a couple of roles and where they're holding. And Bialy kind of has that same thing going for him with this team of AVEZ. And obviously, I guess a little bit more time with them. Look at this big play coming out and outside. Don't tell me these Glocks are going to take down Marcos. He's just trying to escape. I do like, though, how they're kind of leaving Bialy towards ramp. So, like, with the new addition of him on the team, it's like, all right, well, let's just have him play a position that you don't really have. Well, you don't really have to play with anyone else, you know? I'm pretty sure that shot went, like, nowhere near where his crosshair was out of Raw. And what's going on?
My God, how have we ended up here, Jason? There's only 2 players remaining from the CT side. This was the weakest buy we've seen, really, from Secret. Some nice hops from Percy. We'll get him there a little bit quicker, but ultimately, I think the CT side just have to save their extra weaponry, keep something into the next round at least, because this is going to be tough, especially with Rowland just killing it. I agree. I think that first kill he got was a little bit lucky, and Bialy is going to put his fellow countryman +1 to the depths. He even got himself a 3rd kill, but I think this is still an attempt to just hold on to this AWP, and for Synopsy, he's going to go hunting. I don't even think he expects him, and I wonder if Bialy has enough time to actually go for this. I don't think he does, but even still, he's made this round very, very costly for Secret, and one Flatcher, is he about to meet the same fate, running around that corner into the AWP? No, he'll get the kill. And is he going to retrieve the AWP? I'm not sure he's going to get there. Oh, just.
I don't... Was that worth it, Tom? They sacrificed 4 people to take down his op.
Considering, like, I think only 2 of them had guns, it's not as bad.
What do you mean?
Like,
Secret only had 2 people with guns?
Yeah, like the ones that they
right.
picked up. So, like, what they actually threw away wasn't quite as much, although they could have obviously gone back and picked up the other remaining weaponry that they had dropped. But at the same time, this was also a round where they had 2,000-ish each. So they knew that they could buy into the next round. It's obviously a risk, but dropping that AWP means that, sure, okay, Marcus is going to buy another one and Norok can buy, but they would have had some extra weaponry here. They would have had maybe another gun or 2, depending if Marcos could have dropped maybe a FAMAS or an SMG. And it has made the buy on the CT side look a lot weaker.
Yeah, I was thinking towards the aspect of, like, they didn't throw away money of their own, but they kind of threw away money, you know? I mean, save the extra couple of rifles, get some sort of bank going, but we'll see if AVEZ now But unfortunately, losing the AWP and able to rebuy it up, we'll be able to put up a good defense. I mean, that route was just Deagles, wasn't it? Out of Team Secret? And even like a Glock in there?
Yeah, I think the Deagle was probably one of the more expensive purchases in that round. The thing is, though, we've seen AVEZ fight with this sort of buy before and somehow managed to make it work. So can't count them out of it just yet. Been a backwards and forwards game so far. They've spotted Bialy in the corner, so a little bit of a tougher spot. Clear, but to drop the bomb. Somehow he's ended up in a 1v2. A lot still to do, and that missed shot should be his demise. Gonna get the bomb down. If he can somehow hit a miracle shot through, never mind. Rallen is on point with his shots and will even save an AWP for them instead.
I got legit scared when he went for that shot through hut. I was almost expecting him to hit that and to win the round with how little they had really to use. But obviously they have to go for the eco again. The P250s. Deagle bought up for them. Team Secret looking to get their 4th round on the board. And well, if I didn't just see them clutch, 2 rounds prior with just the pistols, I would say they pretty much should have the 4th round secured. But who knows at this rate? Kyler's going to go for the peek around, and will Percy spots him out and does some good damage, but doesn't get the kill.
Yeah, and it's an attempt to do damage. That's one thing that they've been able to do quite well over the last few rounds is keep the T-side economy honest. They've won 3 rounds, and the most players they've had alive is 2. This is their best opportunity, though. This is the chance for Secret to make some cash. They've got that MAC-10 onto Rallen, who to try and farm up some cash, but also clear some early positions. The first kill comes easy. The second one, I don't know if he'd expect, but it doesn't matter. His teammates found it nonetheless. And while the gamble of the CT side to rotate towards that B site early won't pay off.
Kind of unfortunate. I would really enjoy like a very back and forth game, considering how this whole series has ended up. I think, what was it, in Group B, we already knew who were through before we got to the last match. Or I'm not sure if the last match even like counted towards it necessarily. Yeah, I guess AGO against Nordovan, but we did have our 2 teams. It was more about seeding, I guess. But either way, Secret now at 4-2. And this is the Secret that we obviously have to see quite a few times today on the T side, and where we really became impressed with them.
Wow, already a very quick push in from the T side. Just looking to try and brute force through the buy that's come up. Of course, the issue in these sort of rounds is you don't have the initial utility to deny any presence. And Bialy, well, I think he's probably shocked at how fast the remaining of his teammates are gone. Looking like it might be another save situation for him. Unfortunately, it seems like the ramp has been negated quite a lot of the time and really been able to do too much. He's top of the board, of course. I think that round where he managed to save the AWP, or almost save the AWP, is where he got most of his kills. But even still, it's been a quiet start for the majority. Kyler still up and kicking, but his teammate, his partner in crime, and Key has just gone missing completely.
Yeah, it's been a really rough start, even though they do have the 2 rounds. A couple of moments of individual brilliance, but I think the way Secret are playing out the T side, we haven't even really seen, I feel like, the in-depth kind of strategy. We have seen, obviously, strategy out of them, like that big play towards outside initially to catch them off guard and to win the round, but we haven't really seen like the vent dives or the vent plays too much out of Secret that we saw quite a bit, earlier on today. And Bialy with the only saved M4, or the only gun. I guess we're going to see AVEZ buy a little bit into this with some maybe Kevlar, maybe a pistol. But I do want, and I think we need to see AVEZ have a good resurgence here. They can't really afford to let too many rounds go to Secret anymore, considering, you know, the results we've had happen today.
Of course, for anybody just joining us, this is a match that pretty much decides the group. One team goes through, one team goes out. No matter of round difference, no matter what happens here, it is just down to the victor. The other team, well, they'll finish in third, but I'll be honest, at this point, it's meaningless. The one thing that Blast Rising has done is pretty much meant that I think it's only the top 4 teams actually get any of the prize pool. It's very top heavy, giving the opportunity for basically the winner to take the majority of the spoils, which I personally quite like. Here we go, an aggressive round coming in. Bialy to try and cause some damage, but it's his teammate coming in. Kyler again. He's been huge so far, already finding a kill with the Deagle. Pressure coming in onto Anarchies. He's not going to survive this, and he was the man holding the bomb. That's why the escape was so frantic from him, knowing how important holding onto that bomb could be. We've already seen a pistol round victory from Team Secret. Do we get one now from AVEZ, Jason?
I honestly think there's a good chance. Synopsy, it comes down to him, but he's going to be spotted coming up the ladder. Bialy, the Sixth Sense, and now Rollin. He's not going to have a chance, and pretty clean round considering. Kylar, 2 kills, 2 big kills coming through. And unfortunately, Secret leaving the bomb back there. Just imagine if they have the bomb with them on outside.
Anywhere else.
Yeah, like that would have been a free plant towards lower.
Very nice shots, though, coming out from the CT side. A round earn for sure. A little bit of a spicy setup. It was what was working for them more so. Mirage was these aggressive plays where they would take ramp, they would take mid, and sure they got punished a few times, but they're attempting it once again. Marcos, now with his AWP back in hand, is going to kick things off as Juan Flatro is gone. Clearly, Nora a bit worried that somebody's made it into the corner of the vent, but it doesn't really make much sense considering Kyler's position. I think he can see into that corner. The T's, in fact, probing around outside, waiting in the lobby, just making sure there's no aggression coming in elsewhere. Percy maybe even considering going for a bit of a aggressive peek, but just trying to keep the remaining players in place. And I like this. It worked in the last round. This looks like the CTs have got a feeling that maybe the hut push will work again.
It seemed like Percy was almost expected, though, the position he was holding. 40 seconds left, and some late usage out of utility out of AVEZ side to keep the T's back in some probing for some information. Percy's going to get the first. He will eventually see the second, but Kylar again. He's going to shut that down. 28 seconds, and the bomb needs to make its way in towards, and Synopsy, he's going to be spun out. The bomb down again for AVEZ. It comes down to the last 2 players. Anarchiz, who's just waiting, and is like, guys, I'm lower. Let's get the bomb planted. And Rollin, who's, well, he's on the upper bomb site. So they have both bomb sites, kind of, but no bomb. And they won't even have time to pick it up.
Save here will actually be worthwhile. And although it seems like such a minute detail, that kill coming out from Rollin could actually make a fairly big difference. Because you look at Percy being able to buy one Flatro as well. That extra kill gives an extra $300 over to Rollin, which means he can now drop an AK. He would have been $50 short otherwise. So very lucky, if anything. But, you know, it works out in their favor. Percy will get a Galil, and they come into this round with a pretty reasonable purchase.
And they really want this outside control, too. They will have the pushing towards Seeger, that nade. Yeah, I thought I was going to do a little bit more damage. Only 16 to Percy, but they do have that secret control more importantly. Bialy, though, obviously on the rotate if needed. Key will be down here to deal with the first wave, and well, again, the flashbang allowing them to push through to blind up the back. And Key's just trying to create some distance. Percy, is he pushing the Molotov? I don't know, he got dropped on 29 HP and he didn't even go through it. So some ground gain from the T side of Secret. No bomb site just yet. My God. Just decimated them.
Oh, it seems like we have a step up now from the remaining players on the CT side, and the T's have finally been broken. Money just not going to be there for them this time, and ultimately we're back to the Deagles, although I still worry a bit, Jason, after the last one. Took even less than what they have now to manage to break back, but it seems like AVEZ have stabilized. Arlen being given an opportunity does worry me a little bit. Marcos be allowing for any more shenanigans on the outside. The T's being shut down a bit here, of course. You have to remember they managed a ridiculous amount of rounds on their T side after only 6 CT side rounds. Previous match we saw from them. And it is cool to see Bialy basically just stuck on the ramp on his own. And he's currently 15-6. The man is performing well.
Yeah, I think it's a nice opportunity for him to prove he's still got it. I mean, 15 kills, though 4 of them came from the save with the op. Well, quote-unquote save. But now they've been able to get up to 6 rounds. They've taken the lead back. And Team Secret doesn't really seem to have a solid answer. There's just random aggression's been coming out, whether it was through hut, pushed up ramp. Great read on the lower play a few rounds back, just completely shutting down any chance of them of getting the bomb down. I think one of the things that have really worked out for Secret well is, well, the push in towards heaven. And it seems they're going to go in for that yet again, though they're still taking a lot of damage from falling. These folks have given the opportunity, and Ron with that kill as well. Definitely gives them a chance to get this bomb planted somewhere.
I think it's evident for me at the moment that the best players in the server are all Polish. It seems that one of them's on the other team, because Rowland currently 11-7, opening up these rounds as well. How aggressive they're being. It's uncommon to see this many rounds where the CT side will take control of the T side lobby. It's risky, but they haven't really been punished too many times, and it just gives so much information over. Bialy currently in the boost spot, but he should have a free kill here. It seems like Juan Flatro spotted him, but it doesn't really matter. And with his teammates pushing him from behind, they can pretty much clear a lot of angles and now have the perfect positions to basically hold on. The only worry is Percy. I don't think they're going to expect him to be above. It should be a free kill. The only problem is the player carrying the bomb has been dropped.
All right. Good kill yet again. 18 seconds left to defend for. Percy trying to drop in to pick this bomb up and go for the plant here, and Rollins going to have to help him out for this as well. 10 seconds now. Buy him the time to get the plant off, but Rollins going to fall in the meantime. Percy, does he have the chance to plant the bomb, and Marcos was still alive to just stay alive if they needed to. And again, AVEZ take themselves another round. That's going to be 5 straight for them.
I feel like the owners of AVEZ might start rummaging around in their wallet to see how much spare cash they've got to get Bialy to come back. But 18-6, he's basically carrying them through a CT side game of Nuke, which is kind of mad. Like, most of the time you see heavy numbers come up on the T side, or like you see adaptations from the T's to try and avoid one man. It seems like he just rotates at the right place at the right time and makes things really awkward for Team Secret.
Well, another kill. Another advantage here for AVEZ. I don't know. I mean, obviously the other teammates over in the hospital. I don't know how much money it would take to get him to come back, to be fair. I mean, we can maybe do like a GoFundMe for it. Get a Kickstarter. Maybe he can start a OnlyFans page. Who knows? Oh, on Flatro, great shot onto Keys. That's gonna equalize things. Kylar though in a really good position, but I think he's been spotted. But it doesn't seem to matter. He gets both anyways. Now Rollin, he'll drop it and get one, but that's should have been it.
Eight to 5, looking good for AVEZ, and the real worry is that Team Secret really didn't have a good CT side earlier in the day, and it seemed like from AVEZ's point of view, like when they were confident, they just started blowing teams out of the water, just like straight up aggression, individual prowess, and at the moment it seems like we're witnessing that once again. Now, of course, I speak about it quite often. It's fairly common for a player to have a good half. To do it in both, it's a little bit more difficult. I think they'd need it, especially with a quieter game coming out from the likes of Key. In fact, Nora as well, Marcos, it's not been the same as Mirage, but luckily they've had two players really leading the way in terms of fragging power. For the T side, it's a almost completely different story. It's Rowland at the top of the board, and then Synopsy's been dead quiet. Juan Flatro as well. Like, you can, of course, say for Anarchez that you expect to see more from his AWP on the CT side, but kind of hope they get a few more rounds, otherwise we might not get to witness that for too long.
Yeah. Oh, Synopsy. Good position to be in to get that first kill. Kyler gonna take a lot of damage for that Molotov, and now his position will be given up. A shame there's no nade to follow up with that Molotov, however. It seems like they do want to push in towards ramp, but Bialy's just going to be waiting, lurking, and more importantly, staying alive. Marcos will be traded out. But again, Bialy's going to make his way down towards the lower bomb site. He has a chance to delay them even further, potentially get some more kills. And Kyler, well, he's got a couple different angles to cover, and well, he's a spot the first. We'll expect the next player behind him. I guess not.
Oh, no. Oh, Nora was just waiting there. That's the bomb down. Surely that's the round over. Percy just doesn't have the time to pick it up and get back to the site. He'd have to go straight for the plant, and they're going to know that as well. This push, all they really have to do is send one man in and they win the round, and they're actually going to kill him after the timer as well. That is as brutal as it gets. A 7-round streak now for the Polish side as they show, again, why this is one of their stronger maps within the pool. And while Percy's going to have to go for just a P250 Kevlar and a flashbang for what is the final round of the half.
I'm getting a little bit worried. I don't know about you, Tom. I'm getting worried for Secret. They just haven't really been able to hit that same level of magic. On the side, you got Bialy on 20 kills. Hey, he will fall first up in this round, at least. You have Kyler at 14. Seems like this aggression, maybe he's going to work against AVEZ. It's going to be a 3-on-4, and they're still going to control ramp at the moment, but it's the upper bomb site that's the one that's going to be hit. There's really no one here to defend this either.
Nora's going to get aggressive as well, but this is something that the T's have come to expect. One Flatro waiting and be left on the two players in mini to try and turn this back. Straight through will leave Kyler on just 2 HP, and if I'm honest, he might as well just step into the bullets because I don't think there's any way that he gets through this round.
No, it shouldn't be. 2 health, 4 players to find. I'm already going to write it in my notebook. 9-6 is the first half, but still a pretty damn good first half. I think a lot of teams struggle to put this many rounds against Secret when they're on the CT side. And obviously, as you look at the scoreboard, probably a major portion of it was that one player alone with 20 kills, Bialy. As you're mentioning, though, can he continue that pace in the second half is going to be tough. But if he can, it could be seen AVEZ as the second team through Group D.
Yeah, I don't think I would have called it, that's for sure. Especially after last week's performance, like letting some games slip versus sAw and then coming in today. But either way, there's still a chance for Secret to turn this around. They're not that far behind. A pistol would put them within arm's reach, but it's not looking likely. Synopsy's had some high-impact rounds throughout the day, but this would have to be up there. Should have a free kill onto the first. Turn it into a 1 versus 2. There's definitely an opportunity here. He's going to try and fake out the footsteps, but I think the T side will quickly realize that it has to be a peek from the other angle instead. Bomb. Still with plenty of time left, but it won't matter anyway. AVEZ will convert the pistol round. A 10-6 scoreline, and the CT side have to make a decision. So force buy into this one and save for the AWP and utility and everything they desire, or to wait for the next round. And I'm not really surprised, even by the way I sold it, that it's going to be the investment in this round.
So they will push out a secret, or sorry, out of Squeaky, and Nara will be able to get down lower through the vent. Took him a little bit of time to get there, but he does in the end. So they have that man who can, let's see, flank around a couple different targets. I'm assuming they know he's down there because the vent was broken. And oh, what was that? Was that Flatro coming down? Yeah, it was. He went down the vent thereafter, and he actually, for some reason, got a little bit lucky because Nara looked the wrong way at the perfect time. Really start here for Secret, but AVEZ, more importantly, they've lost that control of having that player that can easily flank around.
Throwing the smokes outside to sell a bit of a fake, but with nothing being spotted, the CT side actually still have the majority of players sat towards A. Ramp completely open, if I'm not mistaken. It's only going to be Synopsy who's able to do a lot of damage with his push, and it leaves now Anarchiz watching into the ramp just in case they do now opt to go in that direction. Even still, with 2 rifles left, there's an opportunity, but I like Varalin now almost trying to beat them at their own game with his current position.
I mean, the second he hears them plant, he needs to just swap back around in towards the site and potentially kill the planter, especially with only 20 seconds remaining. There we go. Bomb being planted. No one go for the punish just yet. Anarchiz does come up the ladder in towards heaven, but he gets naded down. Angles to still cover for his team, and Marcos is doing a fantastic job of allowing Bialy just to watch this one angle and one angle alone, and the peak eventually is going to come through, and Bialy will get the kill. It works out for him, and that'll be the 1-for-1 trade as Marcos takes on one Flatro. It's on the one-on-one Rollin, who waited so long in Hut, is not going to be able to survive long enough to kill Bialy. Maybe a 3K out of him, a 2K out of Marcos, and AVEZ will get an 11th round. Did he just save a shotgun or buy a shotgun?
No, he bought it. That was definitely a misclick.
Oh, well, yeah, because it wasn't the XM.
Is he actually? Oh, for a second I thought someone was actually going to use the Nova. I'm a little bit disappointed because out of all the rounds, this is probably the place that would be perfect to use it. It's going to be the eco round. Maybe they expect a bit more of an investment here, or maybe they just hate the Nova.
How dare they? I think AVEZ, though, still has to be very careful against Secret, considering, well, Secret already won just basically a pistol round on the T side. Just rushing straight through outer, and, well, Secret have actually all transitioned towards lower. He's going to catch out Percy, who maybe thought he was going to be some, safe from that position. However, I think that kill alone might have just forced the, or not forced, but allowed the T's of AVEZ to just rotate back to the upper bomb site. Because they were looking like they wanted to go down towards ramp.
Still, of course, this round is an attempt to do damage. Can they retrieve a gun? Maybe. Can they just not hand the kills over to Key, who's looking to farm up the cash and maybe pad those stats a little bit? Anarchiz. Okay, that's pretty clean. And if he can get another with the MAC-10, maybe this will push him closer to that AWP. Chances are we will be seeing it in the next round anyway, as he does have the cash available. Well, on Flatro, I just want to look for something here. I guess saving the Deagle as a secondary would be something, but maybe just not wanting to give the kill away. Takes him enough attempts. We call that a Jason Deag.
Counts. It counts. As long as you get the kill, man. I honestly think the Deagle for me is that one gun or a pistol, whatever you want to call it, that I'll never learn how to play properly.
That's CZ.
That as well. There's just too many pistols. Dualies, just keep adding to the list.
I like the R8 revolver. I think it's underrated.
Do you use it?
On my Smurf account. Close to 500 kills of it.
Oh. Snopsy. It's a little bit aggressive there behind that smoke. Did some decent damage to Kyler, however. Now the rotation of Heretics is going to come through, and not a bad start for him to get the first kill. But look at this Key. Just walk straight out of Hut Percy. He's not going to expect this. Now the upper bomb site could be taken. Anarchy's going to come around the side. He does spot him out, but he can't hit the shot. Smoke will now be there, and It's actually not
Not a
even
good
that good,
smoke.
to be honest. And
Oh!
didn't even see
Okay.
him.
See you later, but unfortunately his teammates are falling elsewhere. What is going on? Through a smoke and a wall. It really is going well, and look who's left in the clutch once again. It's Bialy, 1v2. He can't quite make this one work. You can forgive him for trying. 26 kills. Even just the amount of damage that they've done in this round could be enough. This has to now be a streak from Team Secret, because if they lose this next round, their money's gone, their loss bonus will only be 2,400, and the T's would reign supreme and probably close out the match.
That's gotta hurt, losing 2 players like that. One through a vent, one through a smoke. I wonder if that smoke is actually a little bit further to block off his vision, or I guess closer, whatever, you know what I mean. If he actually would have went for any of those shots towards vent. Well, I guess we'll never know, unfortunately. But we are still seeing the force whip out of AVEZ, and, well, not the prettiest of buys on Secret side, and a FAMAS utility hurting at the moment. But on Flatro, I like his position because no one on the T side is actually outside at all. He technically would have the freedom to come in through mini if he wanted. It looks like they're gonna wait for the smoke to disappear, then push in towards the upper bomb site. Rollin not checking the squeaky door. Holds a different angle instead. He takes 2 clean out. He gets a 3rd as well, and Percy's gonna help assist his teammate. And it's just the 2-man hold. Secret, they get themselves the round, and now AVEZ will basically be on a save.
Well, yeah, that round pretty much puts them back in the match. If they'd lost that one, then I'd pretty much be singing the praises of the polls and saying that they're probably going to take this one over the line. Instead, a couple of AKs picked up, plenty of money. Now starting to build as well, especially if they can keep this nice and clean. And more importantly, the T's don't have much themselves. Already a bit of a brawl going on onto the ramps, and Opsy trying to deny them a further presence, and Nora gonna force him off the angle. In the meantime, a few T's are pressuring outside, but after taking the ramp control, there's going to be a temptation to try and rotate back in that direction.
Great shot. Oh, such a hard angle to play for him there, too. Realizing if he falls, he gives over an op to the other side. And, of course, a nice nade out of Rollin. Gets the kill on a Bialy. I mean, it's just the Deagle and the Glock left. Should be a relatively easy cleanup here for the CG side of Secret to get themselves up to 9. Even almost lining up for Rollin there. And now here we go again. AVEZ going to be back on the bye. And we're going to have Team Secret with well, they should be fine. Just going to move some guns around. I think Bialy hasn't really calmed down too much since the first half. I don't know your thoughts in particular. I know he had 20 and now he's up to 26. Having a strong game, but
yeah,
you know.
I think he's been left in some like favorable positions, like the clutch situations where I think he's always going to thrive just based on like his experience and history within Counter-Strike. I do wonder if he'll be able to take some of the rounds more into his hands in terms of like maybe entry fragging or just finding those opening picks, which at the moment do seem to be missing for AVEZ. Also on a strategical basis, like I feel like if brute force just stops working, I do wonder if they'll have the depth to get through Secret, who, hey, they're starting to come to life a little bit. It's been a quiet performance from some of the players. Synopsy was someone that we highlighted in their previous matchup, and it hasn't really been here. Juan Flatcher even is still only on 12 kills, and even Percy, I believe in the first match we witnessed from them, he was the top fragger. Now he's only on 13. So there's definitely some space to be made for Secret, but on the other side of things, yeah, Bialy's leading the way. Even Kyler's slowed down a bit. Key's come back up, but there's a lot that they can do to sort of help out Bialy, I guess.
Well, at least he has the AK in this round to be a big playmaker if they need it. Again, going to be smoking up for the outside. I think AVEZ might need to be a little bit careful. Maybe Secret's going to get aggressive like AVEZ did against them when they were on the CT side. Door will be open. They're going to wrap around the corner, and Bialy goes in first, and I don't know how they don't see one Quattro there, but he does at least get the one kill, but it's still going to go the T-way overall. Percy in the back of sight will be dropped by Kylar, but Synopsy still left alive. In the 1-on-2, they know where he's going to be. I'd almost just say go lower at this rate, but I guess they want to keep him coming from this one direction only. He peeks out a little bit far. Marco's not there to help assist, and now the drop in, and, well, they will get the kill. 13-9. That was interesting out of AVEZ. I almost expected them to go down towards lower, but I guess it's a good idea of, well, we already know he's upper in heaven. If he doesn't peek you for like 10 seconds, then he's probably wrapping around towards main. At least force him to do it there instead of going lower where he could come from different directions.
The other thing as well is he has a very quick rotation onto the ramp, and they have to cross onto the bomb site. So if he just goes straight down through hell and comes back and drops the bomb, it could be round over. So there's definitely pros and cons to either strategy. But I'm actually more surprised he tried to drop down. Like he had the elevated angle, and that was a sort of exploited position where he's falling. Can't really do much about it. For now, Secret still have a buy. It's definitely not as good as what they've had previously. Utility will be missing. Already had to expend a few grenades just to try and deny the early presence, and it leaves only Percy with any grenades whatsoever. No kit as well, so an after-plant position would be heavily favoring the Poles, and more importantly, they take this round, and well, financially, Team Secret don't have anything to battle back with.
I'd almost expect a timeout to come in from them if they do lose this round. And we see the wonders it can do before. Percy mentioned when we were talking to him, you know, the timeout to calm them down and to really focus up on the next round. Synopsy, he's going to be the one to be under pressure towards ramp. He's just going to drop down. Smart play out of him. Make sure you survive. Dying here would get your team nothing. But also does mean there's going to be 2 players down towards lower because one flat row is going to be there already. At least upper, a little bit susceptible, which Key's going to come in and try to penetrate. Did some decent damage, but not enough to finish off any kills. Marcos is going to get one to go drop straight into vent directly into one flat row, and he gets himself a quick double. Even throws the gun up there for some help. And now Bialy's left alone. With 10 seconds left, he's just got to save this.
Like, he might actually peek in. I guess if he can take one with him, that would be nice. But instead, he falls, and luckily, it's just before the round ends. So he will at least get a little bit of loss bonus. Didn't really seem worth it, especially with him having extra cash and the other teammates are probably going to have to eco anyway. But again, a single break and then AVEZ unable to convert any further rounds means that Secret are going to be able to continue their grind again.
I mean, it's just, what, 2 deagles here for AVEZ, and looking like Secret might get themselves to 11. Synopsy again, playing on top of the box this time. Spots on Narot, gets the kill. On Fatro as well. And the and obviously the rotation's coming through out of them to just make sure to lock down outside, and that will net them another kill. Pretty easy round here for Secret. Would be awesome if Marcos gets some kills, especially onto Percy here. But he will fall, and now it's just the deagle for Kylar. You know, I didn't expect Secret to really be able to bounce back CT side like this. They've been able to take 5 of the last 6 rounds. They obviously struggled quite a bit. As we heard them talk about Rollin before, him and I think it was Synopsy changing up positions. But I guess that time they've had off since their last game, they've been able to really practice, maybe specifically for Nuke, expecting it to come out yet again.
I'm going to see the take of outside, at least initially. Bialy looking to try and challenge in that direction. The smoke's being expended and yet to really get too much control. Basically trying to deny any real information coming up for the CT side, who do have a player wrapping round the outside. It's going to be Juan Flatro to try and deny them. A good position to hold, but he basically needs to do this all on his own. Counter nades being expended, and eventually after Molotov falls in, he's forced back. Now this smoke has a pretty big gap in it. That's definitely not where it's supposed to land, and Rallen is going to exploit that fact, giving them not only a man advantage, but Nora is also desperately low.
Does it surprise you how often we do see gaps in those smokes on outside? I feel like to me it does. I feel like it should be like relatively easy to throw every time.
It depends. Like sometimes you're lining it up with a very specific pixel, and maybe you move a little bit, or if it's a jump throw in particular, like if you don't quite jump high enough, it can be a bit brutal. Obviously, that's why people have had jump bind scripts in the past, basically do the job for them. But yeah, you'd hope at a professional level they'd be able to get their smokes landed. Either way, 15 seconds left. Nora has given them away into this round. One Flatro is still here. They need to kill him off. He might just wait to try and deny the bomb, but Key checks it at the very last second. The bomb is going to be going down, even though there was a kill coming in from sAw. And they make it work here. The CT side economy will survive, at least for now. But again, this will put them right on the brink.
That flick though onto site, like that if they don't check that position, you know that bomb's being dropped with just a few seconds left. He's gonna wait till like the last millisecond to get the kill, and potentially a second. I did like the trigger discipline. I think he played it perfectly on the CT side. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. We're gonna see a timeout come in. We're gonna see double op on secret side, sAw and Anarchist. So I guess sAw will be going towards ramp. And I think AVEZ realized they win this round, they win the game, and they get through to the playoffs. Obviously, I hope they're not getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves.
They've still got plenty to fight up against. Of course, Percy mentioned before how important a pause could be. Well, he's been given one for free. If this actually benefits them, of course, I think both teams knowing how important this crunch round will be. If the CTs can win it back once again, the Ts will have no loss bonus and very little money, but a far worse scenario will be meeting Team Secret if they lose this round. As they've invested into double AWPs, it's an all-in strategy. sAw picking up the secondary. As mentioned, he's not really had the best game so far, but because of that, they spent all their cash, and they also only have a minimal loss bonus, so this is a real chance for AVEZ to pretty much end the game.
Smokes go in, Incendiary to block them off in towards Secret. He's just gone a little bit too far, unfortunately, as they're able to get around it. Marcos only taking the brunt of the damage, and even Key watching for a potential flanking to watch their backs. I like this, actually. Still going to be tough to clear a lot of these angles, and Anarchist even expects him to maybe come back out of Secret. Looks like they're going to commit for this, though. Even flash it in to get a player in towards window. Be very careful, someone coming down vent, but one Flatro in a pretty good position to play around the silo.
I wonder if he'll move into the spam position. That's something you see a lot of pros do, where if a position is spammed initially, you move into it, so that the chances are they're not going to do that again. They've got here early. Now, with no rotation being spotted back, the CTs have been able to at least place a player here and have that rotation into the site. However, Juan Flatru, he's gone. It's all going to be down to the cross. Rallen is trying to hold on to the player outside, and he'll be successful with sAw's second AWP also picking up a kill. Even still, though, after plant position, Nora will drop another. Actually, Kyler looking to get a little bit aggressive here. He's got to be careful. There's two players on the ramp. They're going to try and flash him in. No, they won't, but the peek is going to come elsewhere. Both players desperately low. Nora already dropping his second kill. Make it a third as he leaves just one man standing. Rallen to try and ruin it for his Polish brothers, and he's not going to be able to. 15-11. CT side money in tatters, and they have to try and fight back with what they've got.
Big kill out of Bialy initially to get the first one onto one Flatro. And then Nara, like, might be only on 15 kills, but I feel like there's been a couple of rounds now where he just gets the most impactful kills to really get them the lead they currently do have. I mean, technically bottom fragging, but in my heart, he's definitely not there. And what do the CTs have to spend? Some Deagles, a FAMAS, MP9, no kit. I'd almost expect them to just rush through HUD at this rate, or maybe try to push on towards outer, because that seems to be the direction AVEZ have been going quite a few times.
It definitely seems like a round where they'll have to take a big risk. Rallen coming into the squad as the stand-in has been putting up the numbers, but it's actually been some of the other players that have fallen a little bit flat. On these clutch situations and these retake situations, it does seem like Eastside have been slightly better. Only one defusal coming in this whole half, so clearly if they get the bomb down, we should be favoring the Poles all day long. Then again, you look at the other side, there was only one defusal on the other side as well, so it seemed to be all or nothing from both squads. Here we go, though. One flat trope. SMG, pistols. FAMAS or Rallen. You mentioned that they've been pushing outside in a lot of these rounds. It's looking like going to do the same again. See some pressure put in here, but they've actually almost left it open, maybe realizing how much of an advantage they're going to have with the weaponry and just looking for those early duels.
Ron with the only rifle. He's going to be the first point of contact here. Narat's going to come around the corner, and Ron will get the kill. Kyler looking for the return. He will eventually be able to do it, though it costs him 49 HP. So at least Secret able to stay afloat for now. It looks like they might look to head in towards the upper bomb site again, and it's going to be tough. One flat stroke, he's going to be overrun. Key gets that kill. Now it's a 4-on-3, Tom.
Very doable, though. Like, especially with the Deags able to kill these guys off with a bullet or two, depending how lucky they are. Bullet in this case, as Garly's now gone. Position for one of them, and actually Marcus is going to be able to kill off another. Key looking to try and end Percy. He's retrieved the FAMAS and tries to save them, but he can't quite do it. It is going to be the Polish side of AVEZ making it through. I have to say at the beginning of the day, that was not something I was expecting, but they have managed with a stand-in to take the victory, and while they will head into the playoff stage, and if you've still got it up, do you know who they'll be facing?
It should be Endpoint, if I'm not mistaken. Because Heretics are up against Alternates, so obviously still a very difficult game to come up in the future for them, but a game they could potentially win nonetheless. Looks like it will have actually Bogdan coming in here, the coach of AVEZ. So first of all, if you're here,
Yep.
here. Okay, he's here. Well, first of all, congratulations on qualifying through to the playoffs. It's got to feel good for you guys.
Oh yeah, it feels good. It was
yeah.
it was a tough match. All of the matches were tough. But this one was, yeah, kind of hard. But in the end, we won.
Does this also mean Bialy will be playing going into the playoffs now?
No, I don't think so. I don't know where, when they will be played, but Mosi is coming back from the hospital, and he'll be playing with us the rest of the matches. Bialy was just a stand-in.
Well, I think you might have to give him like a big round of applause, or maybe get him a drink or something, because he played fantastic in that first half, holding down the ramp. I think he did a great job, but overall, like the team came together. I think we were most impressed by, is it Key? K-E-I?
It's
Key?
K.
Okay. We're very much impressed with him, especially in the match we saw on Mirage. Fantastic performance overall.
Yeah.
We spoke earlier actually about this. What Mirage coming up? Did you expect that at all? Obviously, as the coach, you've got to try and work out all of these scenarios that are possible, but a map that you guys haven't really played much, your opposition didn't play much, but it still came up in the maps earlier.
They tried to like sneak Vertigo in, because they did very good veto last best of one when we played Dust. We didn't want to play Inferno and Vertigo, and now we wanted to go balls deep, and actually we went balls deep, because they thought that if they leave Vertigo and Mirage, we will ban Mirage because we don't play this map. But then we have the bigger balls, and we went for Mirage.
How? Sorry, I didn't catch it the first two times. How deep?
Very deep.
Okay. All right. Well, do you guys have you looked already into the brackets to see who you're playing against next, or do you want me to tell you who that is.
You can check it. Isn't it Endpoint?
Endpoint, yes. So,
Yeah.
do you guys feel like you have a good understanding of how they play? Have you played them recently, maybe in some practices, or is this a team that you have not really too familiar with?
Not really. We haven't played them, but I know that they made a good grind in the ranking. They're like 30 something in the ranking, and they have some good results. So they will be a tough opponent as always, but we will be prepared for sure. And with Mosi, we'll be even better prepared. Nothing. Bailey was playing fantastic, but still he was just a stand-in. Maybe we will go the path that Astralis and Ego is going, and we'll have 6-man roster. I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, you